Okay, for the third video in my Ursa Minor review and buyer's guide, I'm going to talk about options. Well, you look at the option list and there's a lot of options. I bought some options, I didn't buy other options. I'll tell you what I did right and what I did wrong. First one, the biggest one that troubled me was windows. Should I get windows with my top? Windows were expensive. Did I need them? Did I not need them? Well, I ended up not ordering windows. And I'm very happy that I didn't, because look what we've got going on here. Because of the Jeep Wrangler's really ability to not store a lot of stuff, I've used the inside between the roll bar and where the windows were for storage. I find that most people that have a Jeep that's set up for camping, they're not using those rear windows anyway, even if they have rear windows. So for me, the rear windows were not an expense that I really was willing to make. The second thing I bought was awning mounts. Now, if you think you want an awning at any point, get awning mounts now. One thing that I was short-sighted on, I bought these awning mounts installed, two for this side. I wanted an ARB awning. I wanted a 2500 that was a little longer than the top. I should have bought awning mounts for both sides, because I initially bought these, and then later, after using the top a little while, I decided, boy, it wouldn't it be wise to be able to remove your awning and move it to this side in different situations. And so I ended up buying these ones later. Now the problem with that was I had to lift the top off later, drill holes in the top, and put those mounts on. So now my ARB 2500 can be moved to either side, and it's been great. Because sometimes, when we're traveling on the road, we go to a campsite. Sometimes, there's somebody right next to you. If you're, like, we went down to the Redwoods and we just picked out campgrounds, and there's somebody right there. Well, if you want to set up everything on the other side, maybe for a little bit of privacy, you just pick the awning up and move it to the other side. The awning's like 28 pounds, so that worked really well. I have these Ironman quick release awning mounts, and they've worked pretty good for that. And I can also store it, like right now it's fall, it's stored in the shed. I'm not going to be using it in the fall and winter because of the wind and the weather. Okay, the third thing is this hard top organizer. We did not buy that. It's $150, and I thought, boy, that's expensive. Well, there you see it. Just buy that. You'll love it. When we're traveling down the road, say we printed out instructions on how to get to a place before we left, we keep the paperwork up there. If we have any, let's say we're entering a national park or something, and they give us pamphlets and things, it just goes right above my head. It works really well for that. So $150, but it's $150 well spent. We bought it later, and we got it home. And I tried to install it, and there were no instructions or anything, and I'm pretty handy, and still it took me a little bit to figure out how it all went together and drill holes and stuff. So just buy the hardtop headliner. Now, a third thing that we didn't get, or a second thing we didn't get rather, is this load bay light. Now, it's $150. If you can justify that, buy it, because if you don't have any windows, you need light back here. Sometimes when we're loading and unloading, boy, it's nice. I added this light. It was a lot cheaper than $150, but it might be better off to have one that is powered by the Jeep's battery. That might be worth justifying to you. I wanted to save some money. I didn't buy it, but I think it's a good option. Because the Jeep and the rear load bay from the factory, they don't come with good lighting, and we use this thing for groceries and everything else, so it's nice to have that to just click on. If I had it to do again, I'd probably spend $150 and buy the thing. Now, we did not get the wiper. option. That was a lot of money. I don't regret it because my tire carrier, by the time, when I have my bigger tires on here for running in the summertime, they kind of pretty much block the view anyway. So that's pointless. Now, one thing I did do is I found the Jeep part number for the harness, for the wipers, and I bought that harness and I hooked it up to run the defroster in this window, because in the wintertime it is kind of nice to defrost it. And when I'm running my smaller tires in the winter, I can see out of it when things are icy. So that's just something I did, but I wouldn't suggest buying the wiper. The wiper's kind of pointless on the standard hardtop anyway. Okay, now then, other options. Other options. Up in the top, I bought a 12-volt power plug for plugging a cigarette lighter style accessories into. That was a bad decision. I later replaced that with a Blue Sea USB plug-in. Now, they were $50 at the time from Ursa Minor for that installed from the factory. And if it was for me to do again, I'd buy this one, and I'd see if they couldn't put one in the other corner. Because my wife and I, we like to watch a tablet at night. We hook it up to the ceiling, and we watch a tablet, and we charge our phones at night. So it would be nice. I have an extra long cord that I stretch to her side, but if she had a plug-in over there where she could just plug hers in, that would be handy. The USB outlet is a definite. You need that. Now, the one that goes in the headliner, we didn't get. And I don't regret that because I don't have any accessories up there that take it. So it wasn't a biggie for me. You can also get the hardtop color painted to match your Jeep if you like that. They'll also do the top. Now, this stuff is really rugged. If you can look here, you can see these scratches. And my daughter, who I love to pieces, drove my Jeep down the side of an old nasty tree on a trail near Moab this last year, and it did not, they were awful limbs, big limbs, and they did not scrape that hardliner off. Now I have a mark there, but that's heavy duty stuff. You can get just the perimeter done of the very top in black, or you can get the whole thing blacked out. And one thing that I would suggest to you if you're using this top in the summer is to not get the whole thing blacked out. If that thing is black, you're going to heat up like an oven in there. We like the white. I can put my stickers and things of where I've been on the white, so we just kept it white. The black perimeter thing was like $450 if I'm remembering things, and the whole thing is $700, and I would skip that. Unless you absolutely hate the white top, I would do the black perimeter. Or I've even seen where guys have taken Plasti Dip and Plasti Dipped the top, and then they can peel it off when it goes bad and redo it. I wouldn't spend that money, but that's just me. If you hate the look of it, spend the money. Okay, am I forgetting anything as far as aftermarket options? There's a solar option. I didn't get the solar option. We're running one battery. I don't have a refrigerator, and we've never needed another battery, so there's no use to add the extra weight. Weight is definitely an issue on these Jeeps. I did get the Yakima roof rack, and one thing you need to remember about the roof rack is if you're going to be lifting and lowering that top, you're going to have to take stuff off the top. We have hauled 3 kayaks up there, you know, the little plastic kayaks, and we went to the Redwoods with them last year, and I got so tired of lifting those things off the top to bring the top up that I won't haul them that way again. I'd probably maybe haul 1 kayak. Otherwise, I set a trailer up with a roof rack on it, and I'll haul the trailer if we want to go somewhere kayaking. I do like the rack for the option that if I want to go down to the lumber yard and get a 2x4 or a piece of plywood, my Jeep can do that. I don't always have to have a trailer, so it is handy for that, but it was expensive. I think the whole package with the roof rails and everything was $750. I didn't buy it all at Ursa Minor. I just had them put the bases in because I couldn't afford it all at once. I'm glad I had them put the bases in. And then later on I added, you know, the rails and the uprights and the key lock cylinders and all that. So you might really think about that. Now, if you don't get the roof rack, it is kind of hard. It's not extremely difficult, but it's kind of a pain trying to get the top latch down in the back if you don't have anything to grab a hold of. I've seen people put handles on and stuff on the back, but the roof rack helps me with that. Because I've done it both ways before. I had the roof rails that went across, the crossbars, I guess they're called. I could put it down, but that top is pretty slick. So it's nice to be able to just grab a hold of the roof rack now when I step up there and close it down. Also, those give you a grab handle when you're getting up on top. So yeah, that's the options. That's what I bought. This top at the time, it was 2 years ago. I think I've spent about $8,200 on it. It's probably, by the time I've added everything, I'm probably close to $9,000. I would definitely suggest, if you're going to buy it, think about your awning options. If your awning's long like mine, when you make your initial order, ask to move these to the front. I don't know why in Ursa Minor's production they moved those, because the original tops were in the front. I'm sure there's a good reason, but I called later and made the change, but it didn't get into my final paperwork or something. And so when it was time to go pick up my top, it had these latches here, and I've just had to live with them. I have to take my awning off on the front every time I want to unlatch the top. And with these quick release things, it's not that difficult, but boy, it would have been nice to have them on the front. So on the next video, I think we'll get into some things that Ursa Minor could do better, and maybe some suggestions for people that are going to buy one, of what kind of accessories they could add with the Ursa Minor to make it better. Thanks for watching.